Okay, so I have order date, and we are looking at by year. So if I grab order date, automatically should just push by default a blue pill with year. Um, we're gonna keep this simple for now. So we're going to highlight 2 years, right click, and then exclude them, which will put that in our filters. And I'm just keeping 2021 and 2019.
Something happened in 2020 there that, pandemic data or what?
How did you change the years?
Okay, so drag this off the filters. So I just highlighted 2020 and 2018, right click and exclude.
How do you highlight them separately? Command?
Control.
Command, yep. You hold command and then.
Oh, and exclude. Okay, I got it.
All right. And I'll explain why we get rid of the other years, why we only have 2 once we build it, because it's just, it'll be easier there to explain. Like most visualizations when you actually see what I'm talking about. So we're going to look at subcategory by putting that in detail.
Subcategory, putting it in detail. I was shrinking. All right, so we're under product.
Then we're going to take sales.
Where'd
Some
you
of
put
sales is
subcategory into detail? Okay, on the marks. I got it. Sorry.
Yep.
And then
That's
what's
right.
the one?
Sum of sales.
Sum of sales.
And you put that on the opposite side of or you put it in the column shelf for now.
Yeah. Okay. I gotta switch
And
glasses.
then this icon up here, if you remember, is swap rows and columns. We're going to click that. So then we should now have the dates at the bottom of our screen. And then this pull down menu, we can make it go to entire view just so we can get some space. All right, so what does this chart kind of look like?
Slope.
Slope.
Two red horse falling down. Oh yeah, slope.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a label and we just click label and go line ends. And then we could we'll actually take stubs category and then and then place it on label, and it should have it on the line ends like this.
Okay, so you took a label and you drug it somewhere?
No, subcategories and put that on label.
Oh, gotcha.
Which is already on your marks menu.
Yep. And mine went on the right side. What'd you do to get it?
So if you click
right?
on label to customize your labels, there's marks to label, which will automatically put the label on the marks, and you put it on lines end.
Oh, lines end. Okay.
Okay.
And
we're going to create.
You left click label in the marks menu to get the lines.
Yeah, so the marks menu.
Okay. Or do you click
Oh,
subcategory?
it's not showing you. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not showing you. Hold on. Let me read.
I got it. I had to switch. My mouse won't work on some stuff, and then my trackpad works.
Yeah, but still not showing my menus for some reason.
Yeah, it's your fault.
All right. This should now work. Okay, there we go.
We see
So
it.
you should have line ends right now. Okay. So now we're going to create a calculated field. And, if you pull anything in, they can just delete that. So we're going to say if.
Are we doing
Yeah.
calculated field and order counts?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, you can do in order. No, not I just did that just to grab one.
Oh, okay.
I deleted it immediately. We're not using order counts, but
Oh, okay,
So
gotcha.
where do we go to get that field to pop up? In the parameters or in?
it's best since you don't need to carry any data over. You can just find a white space area on the data and right click and you'll have create calculated field.
Okay, and I'm just making sure I understand when you say on the data, you're saying in that measure names area. I'm just know that that's data, right? Or I
Yeah,
guess that,
this whole window here is the data from your data source. So this is like
Okay,
if you connect to a database or Excel spreadsheet, you're going to see all your data here.
okay, so it could be anywhere in that data. I didn't necessarily need to be in one
Right.
certain
It doesn't
area.
exactly.
Okay. Just some white.
Yeah, you can even go in the parameter section and you'll see that you have create calculated field, create parameter, and create folder.
But you got to find the white space. Okay, and we're creating a parameter or a calculated field. I'm sorry, I missed
Calculated field.
calculated field. All right, gotcha.
All right.
If
So actually did this wrong. I want to wrap this whole thing in sum of sales. Or I should say, I just want to wrap the whole thing in sum.
Do you need the square bracket around sales, like order date, or is it okay without?
It's okay with that as long as it's orange.
Okay.
And this is going to be the first time we're using an LOD calculation. So we're going to say fixed subcategory. And then you're going to see this colon right here. And then you got the curly brace. You got curly brace fixed. So this is the syntax of an LOD calculation. What this is basically saying is we're fixing the calculation on subcategory, which is each of these items. And the benefit this does is that it will prevent, or it will take this calculated field here, or this logic here that returns sales for 2019 and provide it for us for 2021, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to do that. if we just used a simple aggregation. And the reason for that is because we don't have that 2019 data in 2021. So we either have to use a table calculation or an LOD calculation. The LOD calculation, and I'll zoom in a little bit, is always, you can have nothing here, which is basically like you're pinning that overall, or you can fix it to a certain dimension. And we can see what this looks like a little bit more. So we're going to call this 2019 sales. So if we take that and we put it on label, what do you notice about the values we now see?
There's a sum.
There are
value
some,
for the
yeah.
19 lines.
But look at the numbers between the phones from 2019 and 2021.
Yeah, they're the same.
Amazingly consistent between the 2 years.
Now let's take sales. So we're going to take that off and we're going to take sales and then put that on label. What do you see as what do you now see as the different labels?
Value. I mean, an increase, you know,
Yeah, so the numbers, are they the same or are they different?
different.
Matching the slope.
Right.
So I'm sorry to interrupt. So I missed where you put sales. You put the sum of sales green pill on label?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's just to see exactly what these calculations are doing and how they're slightly different. And we'll keep talking about this. I know this is probably a big concept, but so we're going to look for 2019 sales and we're going to duplicate it. So we'll have 2019 sales copy. And to duplicate, you just right click on the 2019 sales and then you'll have it right there. Duplicate. So we're going to edit the one that has copy in the name. And we're going to call this one 2021 sales. We're going to remove the copy. And we keep everything the same, except we now have 2021. So that's pretty easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now if we drag 2021 sales, we now see that we have 2021 sales available in both years.
But we were
So you might be wondering,
sum of sales,
what's that?
right? We were supposed to remove sum of sales.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. We're just using that as just to check exactly what the calcs are doing. We're not actually building that into the view. It's always
Right,
good to just kind of look at the underlying data.
Yeah.
But yeah, so from there, we are going to create a new calculated field called positive negative calc. Okay. So how would you approach this calculation? If we're trying to create a color code for if the line is positive or negative.
Well, do we start with if?
Yes.
Are we looking just at 2021 sales? No.
What do you mean?
Well, never mind. I don't know what I meant by that.
How would we create logic to be able to check if this line is positive or negative?
Mhm.
Well, we're
If
gonna
it's
Comparing the two, 21.
comparing the two, correct?
Mhm.
we just created a 2019 sales and a 2021 sales as a calculated item, and so we could pull that in and compare the two of them.
If the slope is negative,
2021 is less than 2019.
Yeah.
Or opposite, if 2021 is
Correct.
greater than 2019.
Yep. That is exactly right. One of the downsides of naming my calcs with numbers is that it doesn't make it as easy to type, but we'll soldier on. So if 2019 sales is greater than 2021 sales, then we're going to return a string, and we're going to say what?
negative.
Negative trend. Else, if (2021) sales is greater than or equal than 2019 sales, then positive trend. So you should have something that looks like this. We could, if we really want to be sticklers, we could say greater than and then have a third option of staying the same, but it's very unlikely for that to happen. So, and even if it did, I don't think that's that big of a deal. But if you really want to, you could say it's flat if it's exactly equal. So does this all make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then drop it into your marks on color.
Correct.
Cool.
Yeah.
Get some color and make it so that it makes a little bit more sense from a mental model perspective. So you want to associate negative with red, and we can go positive with blue. And then what we can also do is click on label, go to font, and match mark colors. You can bold it too since you're using
how
color.
you made the lines. You just went to color,
Yep.
but how'd you get the negative and positive? Did I have to go over to show me or something? No.
Positive, negative.
Color. Yeah, so I
You
got
should
the
just be able to
positive.
drag that on color.
Oh, I didn't drag it on color. That's why. Got it.
Yep.
And then you changed the negative trend to red, right?
Yes. Because we're basically what we did is we created an output that checked if it was positive or negative. We outputted two strings, and based on those two strings, created two groups that we placed on color, which allowed us to create two colors.
Mm-hmm.
And so what those LOD calculations allowed us to do is it brought the two values, because we needed them on both sides for this to work, to be able to do that logical check for both 2019 and 2021 to make sure that it was a different value compared to the other year that we were looking at. Did everybody get here?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take subcategories and drag it off. Whoops, I didn't mean that. Drag it off, label, put it on detail. And then we're going to duplicate sales. And the quick way of doing that is just Command or Control, left click, drag to the side.
Okay, I took subcategories off. I thought you said to take it off and then put it on detail.
Yeah, I meant take it off labels and just put it on detail. So if you dragged it off, it's fine.
I drug it off, but now how'd I get back? Because now I have these lines that are.
No, that's fine. You just need to
down.
put it back on detail and it'll fix. Put subcategory on detail.
I just did, and so then I got these slopes with the axis, the appliance that are all comparing the two.
You put subcategory on detail?
Mm-hmm. At first I pulled it off, and then it so now I've got the two, the 1921 side by side, and so each slope is a very different. I don't know if I gotta put my axes together or something.
Oh, this pull down menu up here.
Oh yeah.
Make sure that's on the entire view.
It is.
And you have subcategory here.
Here's what it looks like. Do you see?
Yeah.
Or did I do it this way? I don't know where my camera is, but
maybe try back button.
Okay.
Oh, I think your columns and rows are different than what I have.
Right. And I didn't.
So it should be year, order date on columns, and then you have sum of sales twice for rows.
I'll get sum of sales twice. Year, order date. I see the subcategory was up top. That's what happened. Let me pull it off the top. There we go. Yep, that's what happened. I'm back to normal. Somehow subcategory got up to columns.
All right. Yeah, no worries.
I struck it off. Okay, so sum of sales up top. All right, I'm caught up.
Okay. Yep. We got two green pills here. Right click and do a dual axis.
Right.
And we're gonna synchronize. And
this is where I always get the synchronizing. Tell me where you click to synchronize.
So you do dual axis first.
Yep, I did that.
Okay. And then the synchronize is the axis. So if you're synchronizing the axis, you right click on the axis.
Okay, on the axis. Yeah, got it. I was doing the header instead. Synchronize axis.
Okay. And then this bottom chart in the marks menu, which means it's the one that's closest to us. That's the one on top. We're going to change that to a circle. And then we're going to click on size. And we're going to just manually reduce that to where it doesn't look obnoxious. That's the technical term, obnoxious.
Ooh, obnoxious. Size is right.
And then when you're on the circle menu, you can drag. Well, actually, we probably still want the subcategories on label on the line, so we can still use the line ends. And so then it's just a little bit of finagling around trying to get these things to look good.
Okay, you're moving a little faster. You said you want the subcategories on line. Where did you drag the subcategories in that middle one?
Yeah, so subcategories should already be there. Because you know that because it's breaking up the lines, and just put that on label.
Labels, got it. Okay.
And you can, like, if you want to, you can make your circles a little bit smaller and your lines also a little bit smaller to kind of make that look a little better.
So I have both the number and the phones listed on both ends of the line. Is there a way just to remove the one we don't want?
Yes. So you just want one side?
Or either. I was just trying to make it back to match what you have.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was yours like again?
So if you look at the dot at the line sloping up, and it's the topmost one, it has phones, and then chairs below it. But I also have the sum listed as well as the word label.
You
So
got to
for-
drop the pill
Oh, just
in
drop
the
the
mark
bill?
in the marks menu. Hmm.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, because they're not there. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thanks, Mara.
Yep,
Mara's on
I'm
top.
figuring it out.
Crushing
Yeah.
it as usual.
You would ask me that in Python. I would have said no.
And you were saying you weren't sure if you knew everything you wanted to know, and you already
I don't know animation yet.
yeah. Well, we got 4 classes, 4 more. Yeah, it seems like everyone's starting to pick it up, so that's good. It only took to class 4. That's actually pretty good. All right. Let's see. Next chart is the bump chart. Does anybody know what a bump chart is?
No, I'm really after the whiskers one, plot and whiskers. These are new.
I'm thinking
Well,
like
you know-
more of a spark line or a spark where there's a bump, there's some oddity in
Oh, that's a good
Slope.
thought.
and
It's not a spark
I
line,
see it.
though.
right, okay.
Yeah, it could be a speed bump. It could be like the app that was bump where they do knuckle bump or fist bump.
Ooh.
I'm
That's
thinking
exactly-
I'm not going to vote either one of those very high. I can keep going though.
All right, we're going to use subcategory again because that just seems to be a good one to use.
So move that over to rows.
And we're going to go to sales again. And we're going to create a calculated field. So we right click on sales, create calculated field.
So you just went to just regular sales.
Yep, just regular sales, regular old sales. We're going to call this sales rank.
But I'm lost. Where did you go get so that your data field just shows just sales under the orders? You went.
You can use it. Yeah, you can use a search up here at the top and just type in sales, and it'll bring up all your calculations.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll just do that instinctively.
And then you just right click and created a calculated field. I was like, how did you get that menu?
Yeah, no, sorry, speed hacks.
Yeah, I just didn't follow. So sales rank.
Sleight of hand, Tableau magic.
Mm-hmm.
So we're creating a thing here, rank unique, sum of sales. So if I were to find rank unique here in the calculated field categories, you would find it in table calculations, which means it's a table calculation. And you can see right here, rank unique, and there's a lot of different ranks. So you can have rank dense, rank modified, rank percentile. The ones I most use are rank unique and rank percentile. So what rank unique does is that even if there's equal values, it will force unique ranks regardless. So if they're the same one, they'll give. And so most of the cases, I don't really need like a dense of that I'd rather have that unique field to make sure that it's going to spread the data as I'd want. Percentile is also good, but for a different reason. And we will probably talk about that in the future. We should have this right now. Okay. We're going to take subcategory and we're going to drag it down to detail. So now we're going to get order date. And we're going to put it on columns. And we're going to right click on order date. And we are going to put it on month. We may filter that down later. We'll see.
Now, when I put mine on month like you did, I've got the dots coming down but maybe month of order date.
Remember the first section of dates is the discrete.
Oh.
So the second one, so we want the green pill version. So that's going to be the second segment of those. So you just kind of have to know that the top section is discrete dates and the bottom section is continuous. And the main difference from your perspective will be this bottom section will give you a actual like scale, a number scale that will go all the way across the screen, while the discrete ones are going to be like separate objects, and it will create those blocks like you were seeing, Ron.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Doesn't it? It kind of says what it is in the menu too. It has a little check mark by continuous or discrete. Right?
Yes. Yeah, you have continuous,
Oh,
but then you
got
could also, yeah, that's right. But you can kind of sometimes mix and match. So, for example, if I have year, I can have a discrete date, but then also make it continuous.
Gotcha.
If you can think about it. But yeah, generally though, you're not going to be doing like Inception type things like that. So yeah, so I would just typically these are blue pills up here, and these are typically green pills down here. So this is like you're going to use discrete more often for comparing, and the green pills down here more for trend. Okay. So we're going to take the calculation that we created, which is sales rank. And we're going to put that in the rows. And we're going to get something that looks like this.
Wow.
Nice, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go to compute using. So you right click on sales rank, which is table calculation. We know that because of the delta. Compute using, and then go to subcategory. Looks a little better, a little marginally better. Then the last thing we're going to do, well, not the last thing, but the next thing we're going to do is edit the axis for the sales rank. And we are going to reverse it. Why are we going to reverse it? Other than I told you to. So when I don't have it reversed, my scale goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. When I have it reversed, my 1 is at the top. Why would I want my 1 at the top?
Your leader at the top, because your eyes, at least what we're used to in this culture, is upper left to lower right.
Right. If I wasn't using rank unique and I was just doing sum of sales, which products would be at the top? The one that's ranked first or the ones that are ranked 18th? Maybe the one that's ranked first. So we'll talk a little bit more about that because we actually did a data adjustment. Because if you remember the data types we talked about, and when I was talking about why it's important, this is one of those instances. We actually just changed the type of data, which means it changed the scale that we did. And so we had to make that change in reversing this to reflect that.
Now I'm noticing, like, I have mine goes 024, yours is 012, and mine goes November 2017, May 2018. I don't have February 2018. So where's the setting? Obviously, I've got a different
Do you have a new worksheet?
scale. Yeah. Yeah. Bump track.
And do you have anything on the filters?
Not that I know of. No.
So you only have these 3 pills? It could be just that you have different data set, a little slightly different.
Okay.
If you want, you could show me your screen like you did last time. I can just see real quick to see if there's anything obvious.
Yep. Ronnie, my labels don't exactly match either, but it looks roughly the same. So I don't know if it's a matter of scale.
Oh, can you show me the pills again, Ronnie, a little bit? So there we go.
Month, order date, and sales rank. It's not.
Oh, did you do the? No, you did that, right? You did the compute using.
Did I include the 0 as in the range? Was that okay?
Well, let me see. I think that's right. It looks right to me.
Yeah, my axis.
Is 024 as well, or?
Yeah, mine's 02 all the way down to 18. My dates are March 2018 to November 2021. It's just that it might be that we have a different dimension of a screen, or the aspect ratio is different, or something like that. But it generally pattern wise looks similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine looks pretty much the same.
Sorry,
It
I'm
is
on
the
two
same,
different
yeah.
devices, so I have to play that camera angle.
Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, and this is actually like something that's generally a good idea when you're working with these types of data, especially if you're trying to aggregate in this way, is to kind of ignore some of the lower level items. So the way we're going to do that quickly is we're going to right click on subcategory, and we're going to go to create, and this time we're going to go set. You should have a menu that looks like this. So what a set is if you want to think about it as like a Venn diagram, and it's just another way to be able to create logic to treat data differently, to either filter or to color code. Now, there's not really any reason why you'd use a set compared to a quick calculated field outside of it's faster a lot of times. And sometimes it is easier to work with if you're doing something really complex, because just sets kind of simplifies that. And then you can actually use sets in calculated fields, which again, we're getting into rabbit hole there. So I won't belabor the point, but this is the main point I'm trying to make, is that what we're doing in sets is something we could also do in calculated fields. So I'm going to go to top. And so this is just going to be, just a quick way to get a condition to kind of clean up the view. And we go by field, and it's going to be top 10. And we are going to use subcategory because that's what we're looking at. And then sales. We want to go sales and sum. So it's top 10 sales by sum, because we're looking at it from the continuous perspective. We were looking at the blue pill with the subcategories. It was going to force us to do like a discrete value of actually like counting each of those items. That's not what we wanted. We basically want to look at the top 10 sales, which subcategories have the top 10 sales. So we got subcategories set. Click OK. And we'll see that this little icon here has a little Venn diagram, which tells us it's a set. We're going to drag that first on colors to make sure it's doing what we want it to do. And you're going to see that we got this overlap here, and that's fine. And the reason why that's happening is because we just brought in a new dimension onto into the view. And so, I mean, you don't have to follow this, but this just is an example. So if I edit the table calculation, and this is a little bit more advanced, if I click on in and out, then we're going to get that same look, but now it's color coded. Just because the table the table calculation is not going to automatically adjust to what you brought into it, and so that's why I overlapped it. So if you wanted to include it in its logic, then you have to go and change that, but that's not important. So we're going to take that just so that we know that it works, and we're going to place that set in filters, and we're going to say in. And so that's just basically a binary. So just like when I was using the calculated field, like if this else, then 1, then or else 0, then that's basically doing the same thing.
Were we supposed to do that?
Yeah, I was gonna say mine didn't.
Do you want us to check just the inbox? Check
The
uncheck-
inbox, yep, in the filters.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, and only the inbox should be checked.
Correct. Yeah, because if it's out, then that means it's outside the top 10. We're looking at the top 10 subcategories.
Gotcha.
So the next thing we're going to do is
Why
just
is
kind of
mine
clean this
grayed
up
out?
a little bit more. I'm sorry. What was that, Ronnie?
Mine looks like it's grayed out, like it's. Maybe I need to click somewhere. But I did the in out.
Do you have the set in the filters?
Mm-hmm. But
And you don't have. You only have one
down
pill.
the menu there. Oh,
You have one blue pill down here.
Sales rank. Sales rank is in red right now for me. Why would that be?
Oh, you must have followed. So right click sales rank, go to edit table calculation.
Edit table count. Yep.
And then you only want subcategory checked. Everything
Okay.
else you want
Got it.
off.
Yep. All right.
Because you basically took it out of the view then.
Got it.
Okay, so we're gonna take order date, go to years, and we're gonna try 2021 and 2020. Yeah, that's good.
It's
Actually, we're
getting
gonna
better.
we're gonna actually just go with 2021.
But you drug order date into filters first, or
I just dragged order date, left click dragged, and then selected years, which is a discrete
Oh.
value.
left click? And when you dragged it, where did you drag it onto? Just onto the main
Filters.
screen? Onto the filters. That's what onto the filter. Okay, and then I get a pop-up box that says filter field order date.
Yep, and then you select year,
Years.
the blue one, because we're looking
then
for
hit-
discrete to
And then
exclude
hit
those.
next. And then what was the 2 years? 19 and 21.
We're actually just going to go 20, just the 1 year, the most recent 2021.
All right. I have to look away every time to look on my iPad and shrink it, so I apologize.
Sorry. So then you take subcategories and you can put it on color. Now, normally I don't have this many colors as we've talked about before, but bump charts have their own rules. No, I'm kidding. It's just simpler right now. So out of convenience.
Is it 7? Right?
4 to 6, or
4
yeah,
to 6. Yours is 4 to 6.
mine
but
is
it
4 to
7.
6.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm more stringent than Miller.
That's what Miller's law.
Yep, exactly. Good job.
Thanks.
So the color legend, then you can start to see these individual trends. And so this is all done, automatically, so you don't have to add in any other functionality. And so now you can focus on each one individually. And you can see these trends, they're pretty interesting. Like you have this huge bump. And so what this does, and I got 5 minutes. What this does, like, why would you do this instead of like a sales, is because you're abstracting it. So like if all these subcategories are basically an apples to apples comparison, then all that extra squiggly part of the line, when you're looking at it down to the cent, when you're comparing these numbers, a lot of times what gets lost in that noise is what's the actual trend? How do these things compare? So what we did, because if you think about sales data, what data type is sales? If you remember our 4 data types.
The sales would be
Ratio?
Correct.
No. Oh, okay.
Yeah, 2 for 2.
Mhm,
Yeah,
yeah.
confidence, Mara. Confidence. Yeah, so it's ratio because you can have 0 sales. You can absolutely have products where nobody is going to buy them. But what we did was we changed it to a rank. And so what data type is a rank?
Ordinal.
Correct. Wow, 3 for 3. So we created an order of things. And so we got first. So we're not looking at sales by the actual number of sales. We're looking at it if it's first, second, third. And we did that in both the sets based on the top 10 selling products. And then we're also doing it based on how we're visualizing this data. And that abstraction makes it easier to see these trends that would get lost if you are looking at it from a ratio perspective. And that's actually one of the most powerful things you can do, is to start being able to work between these different data types. And then also kind of like having a big picture view and like a forest view versus a tree view, where you're looking at something very granular. So in some cases, it makes sense to have a disaggregated view. In other cases, it makes sense to have a very high summary view. It just depends on what you're looking at and what question you're trying to answer.
So this might be a question, certainly from left field, but more for break or office hours. But I'm curious about how easy or hard it is to get your audience to like lead them into this, or if they're already asking for it, they just don't know it. But that doesn't have to be a question answered.
No, we can talk about it. I think that's a good discussion. And I don't want to eat into people's breaks answering that type of question. So we will go on break now and be back at 7:09 because you get that extra minute because I am that generous and in a good mood today, like every day.
Love to hear it.
All right. So if you have questions, save them during the break and we will talk about them when we return.
Cool.
There's most everybody.
Sorry, team. I lost track of time.
It's all right. So before break, Michael had a question, and it seemed to be regarding how do you show charts that are new to people? Like, how do you bring that into the workplace? Because they're probably going to ask you, like, what is this? Is that the gist of it?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, do you lead them in? Do they already know? And you just were like, okay, this is what you were saying. But go ahead.
Yeah. So it's always a challenge, especially with Tableau. And that's like the bane of a lot of Tableau designers and developers, analysts, whatever Tableau job title they have. I actually did research and interviewed people in the field, data scientists, Tableau, data managers, and it's just a challenge across all companies, especially large corporations where, it's seeing information differently is actually like, data visualization and Tableau is really like gets into change management because you're changing a lot more than you think. So an example I'd like to give an example of this is if I'm a data engineer, my day-to-day is going to be very different versus a data visualization person. So as long as stuff is working for the data engineer, like data is moving fast, there's no security issues, it's, they have tickets and, they're doing different things to get the data going and stuff like that. They have to deal with stuff with data quality and stuff like that. But if they're being tasked with something, it's going to be something that's very quantified, where, like it either, or very like binary. It either works or it doesn't. The performance is measured, and you can instantly see exactly like what they're doing from a performance perspective. But if they're making changes, you really don't know what they're doing outside of the outcome. That is, everything is working. Data visualization, on the other hand, we talked about this with the mental models and how people think differently, that when you do make a change, which makes it even more challenging, when you do make a change, people notice. Like if you change a report, I guarantee you that people are going to say, why did you change it? I'm like, why? What is this? Especially when performance is involved. Because then you're essentially like, you have a lot of power as someone who's visualizing that information, because if I'm using colors to show what's prominent, then you're also impacting how people are interpreting the information. And if that information is performance, then, you can really ruffle feathers by changing things up, depending on what you're doing. So that's just one side of it. The other side of it is that when people see something new and different, a lot of times, and it depends on the person, some people are open to new experiences and new ways of seeing data. And you'll see this in Tableau as well. There's some people that just like are fish to a water. And then there's people who are like fish out of water. That like, especially the people who look at Excel spreadsheets all day, accountants, notorious, where it's just like they see a chart and they're just like, I don't get it. Like, I need this in table form. How do I get to my Excel spreadsheet? And that's just how they think. They're just very analytical. They think in numbers and they don't want to visually see it. And, just sometimes like from a UX perspective, when I hear that, I don't try to force people to use data visualization. I need that baseline. So whatever that other alternative flow to a data visualization, I offer that, especially when it's a larger user base. Now, if you're talking about the individual level, then you can kind of walk someone through it. But then if you have that baseline of what that competition is from data visualization, then you're not forcing people to use it. You're actually have something to compare against, that you're actually creating something of value. Because and something that's not going to be like, if it's just marginally better, someone's going to switch to it. It has to be significantly better, because there's this switching cost. And when someone is looking at a new visualization, there's going to be a perceived, they don't even really think about it, but there's a perceived cost of having to learn something new, learn new information without seeing necessarily the benefit of it. And so there's just like a natural aversion to new ways of looking at information, which is odd, because like to Tableau people, because you're all excited about, like, you learn Tableau and you can see data in all those new ways, and you're seeing all these insights, and you get like super excited, and you're like, you start talking fast, and and you're like, wow, this is so cool. And then you start showing it to people, and they're like not part of that journey at all. They have no idea like why you care this much, like what, like, are you like spending time outside of work to build this? Like, you're a little weird. All these different things. And so it's one of those things that's a process. It gets into it's change management, where you try to find people that are open to it. And sometimes it really depends on who you're working with. And sometimes it's like, if they just, all they want to see is tables, you can have a table and then a chart next to it. And maybe they get their table, and then maybe they accidentally look at the chart, and maybe that will like start getting some progress. You could try to help teach people, and try to improve everyone's, like, a common phrase is data literacy. So if like you have a low data literacy, just kind of going through what we're going through and trying to teach data types, scaling, and then also just improving like the amount of charts that people are able to read, because each of these are a different way. Like, it's like a foreign language. It's each of these different ways of speaking, like each of these new chart types is like increasing your vocabulary. And there's no like quick fix for that. And it's probably easier to do. Well, it is easier to do on the individual level, just to be able to explain different charts. But the benefit that you have, like, not necessarily Tableau, but like if I'm doing stuff in D3 with a web browser, then I could have things like a help guide or some kind of tutorial to be able to explain exactly what the chart is and try to make it as easy as possible. But beyond that, like, trying to make things as simple as possible, like not adding unnecessary complexity to what you're already doing. That's helpful. Trying to not like, follow the UX rules, use Miller's Law, give people bite-sized information. Don't think about it in terms of what's easy for you, but try to have empathy and think about the user and where they are, their perspective, their experiences, and try to make those design decisions to where it will be understandable to them. And so there's a lot of different ways to approach that. But it is something that is a huge challenge for companies like everywhere. So if you're just experiencing it, even the best people in Tableau are dealing with the same exact issues. I don't know if that was helpful, but there's a lot of it's one of those things is data visualization's challenging, and don't beat yourself up if you can't change the world overnight.
Where does Tableau rank, though? I guess obviously we're interested in learning Tableau, but like Microsoft's product of, I don't know, what is it called? By
Power BI.
Power BI or whatever.
Yeah. I think Power BI is probably more popular. I don't know. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I'm assuming more people use Power BI, and simply it's just because it's a business decision. It's a lot cheaper. And this is one of the this is actually one of the conversations, like, before Power BI became its own thing, Tableau was kind of like the only game in town. And, originally it was a research tool. It wasn't an enterprise tool. They brought in Tableau Server and they brought in the whole pricing for enterprise license stuff later because they went to public and they had to justify huge stock price. So you have to have an enterprise solution to be able to do that. So it's not a natural enterprise tool, while Power BI is. And who makes purchasing decisions are the people that care about those types of features. And when it's cheaper, then you have them, like IT and accountants, holding hand to hand. And that's kind of a tough combination to break for saying I like pretty charts in Tableau. And so you couldn't really make a business case for it. So Microsoft was really smart with that. One of the things that people often get when they first have Tableau is they'll have a request of, let's remake this report in Tableau. And I've always been against that. I know that there's always been, or there's a common or a popular belief that you should always give what the user wants because that's who's paying you. Which I guess if you want to think about it that way, sure. But at the end of the day, though, as a data visualization professional, you want to add value. And I just don't see much value in recreating reports in Tableau because you could just keep it in the old ones. And Tableau is already not that good as an enterprise administrative tool. And to me, it never really made sense why you would do that. So like the way I think about that is if I'm an engineer, like let's say I'm a civil engineer, at a certain point, the client is not always right if they don't have the understanding of materials and all the other things. Like they may want to cut costs and use foam or some kind of material that is not going to be able to withstand cars and that type of thing. So at that point, so like when you kind of go through those logical exercises, you can start to say, well, maybe someone isn't right to use packed bubble charts with 20 colors in representing this information. There probably is a better way. Now, that's not to say that, when people in data visualization, they have best practices, have all the answers. They still have to go through user research. You still have to understand the user's mindset. And then sometimes it's going to mean making a table, but you have to understand what those pros and cons are. It's not just blanket, oh, well, they asked for this and that's what we're going to give them, because then you're not a designer anymore. You're not providing that insights. You're not conducting data visualization, and you're not helping people learn and see information in new ways. And so the easiest answer from like if you're a Tableau person, is to give people what they want. And if they have no complaints, then that's fine. However, if people are always seeing information the same way that they've always seen it, then you're not exactly providing them value. And so the challenge is to be able to give them new stuff, but then give them a path to make it learnable, either through how you're designing it or through the support and other materials that you're providing people, or just even the conversations that you're having throughout the process. Like it's the job itself is a lot more than just designing and creating charts. It's really an understanding of the organization from a strategic level, and it's also understanding all the different job roles that you're working with and how everything fits together, because all that's going to influence your design decisions and what data you're pulling in and how you're looking at it, because you need that kind of context to be able to make those types of decisions. And those decisions are crucial because if they're effective and you do a good job, then people will see the value of what you're trying to create. And then you give them a reason to invest in learning the stuff along with you, at least enough to understand the types of information that you're providing. That was a long answer.
But it was pretty down to earth, I thought, and not, like way over the head and useful. And I mean, it's kind of like contextual learning. I mean, you got to explain stuff and take the context of which the user is familiar with, and then expand on it to take the company or the project or whatever the decisions to the next level to go deeper and not stay shallow. That's the way
Right. Yeah. It's like the anti-Twitter approach where you don't say like go on one camp or the other. You try to find that middle area and kind of work in that area to say that there's no one right answer, but there is a better answer, and kind of drag people along with you towards that greater good of data visualization awesomeness.
But you see it as a growing skill set that our society needs to make. I mean, because of the quantity of data, quick access, and it's only getting more data at a faster pace because of quantum computing and the like. I mean, it's not a dying need. It's really a growing.
Yeah, like I said, it's like a language. It's like it's a specialized skill, but there's always going to be value in being able to communicate in that language. And I would also say the table demands over the longer term are going to go down because a lot of that is based on learned experience and mental models from people who learned how to do their jobs in the 80s, in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. So a lot of times what you'll see, like oftentimes the worst thing to do is to go to an executive to have them give feedback on a dashboard if your dashboard is the audience is going to be for a frontline employee or an analyst or somebody that's like in the younger crowd. Now, that isn't, some people will say like, you always want to be careful with age when you're talking about creating personas and that type of thing. And people will say ageism, but it's really not ageism as much as when people, you have to think about how fast technology has changed in the last 50 years. I have a niece and nephew who are literally on their mobile app, their tablets on YouTube, watching other kids play games. It's the weirdest thing. I mean, like, I don't know if it's a laziness but like, I never really understood the point of watching other kids play instead of actually playing. It's like this, I'd rather just watch. I'm just going to sit here, drink my chocolate milk, have some chicken nuggets, and watch kids play. It's like, you have all these toys. Why don't you go play?
Right. Is that like the version of Cliff Notes,
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just.
Well, our Minecraft is Legos, Legos computerized. I'm like, why would you do Minecraft and when you got Legos you can build? But
exactly, yeah,
popular.
Yeah. So it's everyone wants that digital experience, and so you have all these kids, and so this impacts UX design because so many people you have to get into mobile because everyone who is younger who's getting it is familiar with it. Now, if I give like a mobile app to my parents, and again, this isn't ageism. It's just that they haven't had that same experience. They were not on their YouTube, mobile apps when they were growing up in the 50s and the 60s. They were out, playing with friends and doing that type of thing. But those types of things actually impact how you see the world and how you understand it. And since that's kind of the business we're in right now, you have to take that into consideration. And so in data visualization, you see that too, where you're seeing data visualizations more often in different internet applications, like your banks, you're going to see more charts, whatever it might be. You're starting to see more examples of it. And so just in that situation, you're having more people gain familiarity, even if they're not necessarily trying to learn it, just because they're seeing it more often in the day-to-day. And so in the future, you're going to see more people who are digitized, for lack of a better way of phrasing it, that are also going to be more fluent in data visualization. And so then there's going to be a greater need for the more sophisticated things because people are going to want to see that information in new ways because they're more comfortable with it. And so that is, I think, a trend that we will start to see, I would say probably around now. for the next 10 years, where you'll see a big growth in use of data visualization just from the average person.
Yeah, I got a story about icons and emojis, but I can save them for a little later.
Yeah, and you know that's like that's in the realm of UX design, and it's interesting with icons, where you know if you're thinking from like an American perspective, everything is pretty much understood. Of like you got home screen, search, magnifying glass, and those types of things. But then if you start going outside your country, then other people interpret that as different, especially if you don't have a label for it. So like they might think that you have like a table tennis palette instead of a um, instead of the search icon, or they just don't really understand that concept. Uh, it's very similar in the terms of data visualization. But what's interesting is there's enough standards in data visualization where you could actually have people speaking different languages that could actually communicate with each other through just data and information.
And I think that goes back to the value of this. I'd call it the sandbox or the play space or whatever. You had your traditional go play out with your neighbors who live in your neighborhood and who you can communicate and learn from. And obviously, there are people that are similar to you. They settled in the same neighborhood, whatever. But with the digital, I mean, my son was playing Minecraft with people in Tennessee, with people in, and he's still to this day, he's 21 years old, but at 13, he was playing checkers and chess and games with others beyond just his neighborhood, and the cultural experience of just talking in a side conversation or watching how they do things. There's pros and cons to that. It's, globalizing, but it's also given a different view from small town middle America versus, you know,
Right. And they're
global
having that
worldwide.
experience. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to be more open to things. I think you're going to probably see that just by what the generations are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a really interesting conversation. And yeah, once you start building data visualizations and you're kind of a part of it. So it depends what types of charts you make. You could be kicking a hornet's nest and you didn't even know it. Making someone look bad. Why is Team B doing so poorly? All right. Let's see. Let's go. Okay, we could go lollipop chart. That's easy. Today's the fun chart name day. If you couldn't tell. All right. So we're going to use our favorite subcategory again because we're familiar with it. And we're going to put that on rows. And we're going to take our sales and we're going to place it on columns. We're going to sort it because that's always a good thing to do. And if you want, you can also format the labels to where they're left aligned. And to format at any time, you just right click, go to the format menu, and then you'll be taken to the header of the format menu, go alignment left.
said to go over to the header.
The header, there's a header part of this menu right here. You got the pane, header. That's just letting you know what part of the chart you're formatting.
Then what was the change?
Yeah, I formatted.
Alignment
Oh,
left.
alignment left. Yep. It's a minor change. So the reason I do that most of the time is because then you get a straight alignment here with your words.
Okay.
Just like a design thing.
In the format, you actually did it on the subcategory bubble or whatever. Is that
The y-axis.
okay?
Yeah. Yep. Y-axis, right click, and then format. And then it'll take you right there. And you just gotta go here and go left. Okay, so we're gonna do dual axis. As Maura's trying to hang in there.
That's why I had my coffee.
I got Mountain Dew. Mara,
I have had none of that. So maybe I should have. It's too late now.
Lesson learned.
Dual axis.
Dual axis, correct. And synchronize.
why can't
And then
I
we're gonna go to
remember
the
where to do dual access? It's like a brain
dual axis is right click on the pill
just on the pill.
and
Yep. It's like
and
that.
then synchronize axis. So we're gonna go to the background chart and we're gonna go bar and then we're gonna click on left click on size for that same bar in the marks menu and we're gonna reduce the size. And then you can tell me what the chart looks like.
I'm gonna guess a bunch of lollipops
That's a good guess.
with really long sticks.
Yes. Well, it depends. It depends.
Yeah.
Fasteners is not very.
No, once you hit supplies and up, even art.
One other thing you can do is you can change the color of the bar to like a gray. If you think that might make it look a little better. Or you can make it look stylish with black.
I think I like gray.
It's everyone's preference.
No.
You can also hide the top header because that's redundant.
Cool.
Okay, next one, we're going to go bullet chart. We're going to go subcategory. And we're going to take our 2021 sales, put it in columns. And we're going to take our 2019 sales and put it in detail. And we're going to sort it, make it look nice. And then we can also do the format of left align. All right. So we're going to add a reference line.
Okay, I just go into the formatting. You went on the bullet or you went on the
Just the y-axis.
just any one of those y-axis
Yep.
formatting.
Yep. Any,
Okay, I was trying to go in white space and I was like, wait a minute, I don't get that. Okay, so header and alignment left. Got it.
all right.
All right, yep.
So we're going to add reference line. And we're going to stay with line. And we're going to go per cell, which is going to create a reference line for each bar.
How come your thing isn't showing up in the?
Oh, sorry.
Not that I didn't listen, but I was just making sure. Per cell, right? You said.
Yep, per cell.
Yeah, Purcell. Yeah, I was listening too. I try to do both, listen and watch. listen for incremental, watch for like a batch catch up.
And then go back over to my other screen and see if I can do it and not lose any of it. Okay. Let's see. All right.
That's the fun of it.
Yeah.
Now we're going to have no label.
No.
And we want 2019 sales.
For the value. Okay.
Correct.
And then average.
I don't think it matters.
Okay.
So you had 2019 sales over. I accidentally took 2021 sales, so I need to take that off first, right?
Yeah, I have the bars are going to be 2021 sales.
But over where you drop that on details, mine says 2021. Did I miss a step there?
Yeah, that should be 2019.
Yeah, that's what I got to go back and fix quick.
Shouldn't we lighten the color a little bit?
I also took and changed
I-
the size, and I thought the size was a nice differentiation from the vertical.
Oh, well,
I'll go back and change
I
it.
want to teach the class now.
for the hold on. For the color, let's find our comparison. So that's positive, negative trend, right? So if I
Yes.
drag that and put it on color,
Okay.
I get some conditional formatting. See, you can reuse these things.
Yeah, which is
Slope chart.
cool. It's
Bullet
just back
chart.
to it's a little bit of your system.
Yeah.
Nice.
Or dropping it on color.
Supercharged productivity.
Boom.
But the reference line color should be like a light gray.
So I made my blue, or whatever you want to call that one, the steel gray, a smaller size, and so it made the black line stand out more of where it was relative to that blue line. So it created a lot more of a crosshair type thing. Just my thing.
I see what you did.
Yeah, I think you can definitely. So another way, if you click on color, you can reduce the opacity as well. Maybe that's not. You kind of.
Oh.
But then you could also just go to the colors themselves and just desaturate them. And so that also works. So these, looks a little bit lighter than I want. I don't know why. But yeah, there's different ways that you can mess around with the colors and try to get something that you like. You can also add in distribution, and we've already done that before.
And remind me again where we get distribution. Is that under format?
A reference line.
Reference line. Thank you.
And this is a new reference line.
Yes, you can stack reference line on top of other reference lines. You can have as many as you want.
And you went in and did percentages and then just did the 60, 80, or the 0 again?
Yes, yeah, just the 5
Zero.
buckets like we did before.
20, 40, 60, 80.
Is it an average?
Oh, that's hideous.
So is that 2021 or 2019 for the percentage of?
Oh, it's 2021 sum, and this aggregation here doesn't matter, I don't think.
Okay.
Oh, actually it does. I'm sorry, I'm an idiot. Maximum.
So you did
Oh,
20, 40, 60, 80, 100. You added. Okay.
Yes. You can also get rid of these grid lines too. So just right click on the window.
Something I'm curious about is, does the black line need like a legend to help convey this is what the black line means? I mean, we did the work. Yeah. Okay.
Generally, though, in my experience, people generally understand, like, if it's past that line, if you use conditional formatting, it makes it fairly intuitive.
Like that was the goal kind of thing?
Yeah.
Or?
Especially if you, like, this is a really perfect KPI chart that you can use. So whatever your goal is, it could be like previous year, whatever your target is. And then you just have that conditional formatting. If they made or missed that target, then, add the red for bad and the other color for good. And generally people kind of understand it.
But there's a correlation between the color and the end of the bar being left or right of the vertical black line.
Yes, so the vertical black line for a bullet chart is basically the target. You want to use it for anything when you're trying to like reach, like, that's why it's a perfect KPI. It could be like a question of like, I just want to hit previous year sales. Now we're going to do the same thing, but in a different way. Sounds fun, doesn't it?
Here we go.
All right, so this is called a baseline chart. Probably wondering how many charts I know. Well,
Yeah. I would be curious.
I guess we're going to find out.
I guess so.
All right. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take order date and put it on filters. And we're going to go the discrete years. And we're only going to look at 2021 and 2020.
So what were those years again?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Most recent two.
Okay. Years. 2020 and 2021. Yes.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so the next thing we're going to do, we're going to take order date, and we're going to place it in the mark section, just on details, fine. And then we're going to go in the month on the bottom section to make it a green pill month.
Okay.
Actually, I'm wrong. I actually want discrete month, but continuous. So this is one of those cases where we want to have discrete continuous.
And how did you, you hovered over, I guess.
So there's two things to click. There's the month here in the top section, which is discrete, or just that specific date, but then you're also making it continuous. I know that's like a mind melt type of thing, but you're just going to have
But
to trust the process.
when you decided that, you went and scrolled over the bars that were there when it was marked discrete. So I guess what told you that, oh, I got to.
You'll see. I'll explain it. You'll
All right.
see.
Gotcha.
Okay, so we're going to create a new calculated field, and we're going to call it index calculation. And then in this section, we're just going to type index and bring that function. Does everybody have this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're done.
Oh,
It's the simplest calculation you'll ever see.
I'll remember that one.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. And you'll see why it's very versatile. Okay, so we're going to take sales. And we are going to place it on columns. And I lied. We're going to place it on rows. I always get them mixed up. That's not a big deal. You just swap it. Okay. So for marks, we're going to change it to line. And then we're going to bring our index calculation. And we're going to place it on columns. So you should have something that looks like this. You might be wondering, is this a baseline chart? No, that is just a vertical line that looks like a flagpole.
A floating flagpole.
Yes, there's no insights to be found here. You can look at it as long as you want. I won't stop you, but I'm just telling you right now, you're not going to find anything. Okay. We're going to right-click on index, and since it's a table calculation, we get table calculation powers, like compute using. And we're going to use compute using and put it on order date. Well, that's fun. But I think we can make this even cooler. And so what we're going to do is we're going to place order date, another pill. Put it on year. And my lights went out for some reason.
Year on the second set of year, right? No, on the first.
And so
how'd you turn it to blue if you put it on the second set then? Did you do discrete?
Yeah, that's just defaults to that. And if you right click on, so this is also something we don't want. We don't want just like all these different things going all over the place. That's not helpful. This is a haystack and there's no needle to be found in it. So we want to right click on index calculation. And we're going to unclick year. And that is not what we want to do.
Wait, how'd you get there? Filter?
Compute using.
Hold on.
I didn't get the labels either, so I got to get the labels. But
hold on, I have to work through this. This is actually a really complicated one, so hold on. So we got that.
Okay, color. I'm there.
All right. And then starting every. There we go. Okay, so I had to put it in the color shelf. That's why. Okay. So when you have it in year like this, put it on color. So you should have these side by side. While you're working through that, I'm going to turn my light on. Okay, everybody here? Everybody see this?
Yep.
No, I had a lot of U-turns there. All right. So right-click on index calculation, edit table calculation, and then restarting every year. And so to explain what's happening here is that instead of having it,
Mine is not going up. I gotta change the level to month order date to get that.
oh, okay.
Were you guys ever?
Yeah.
My restarting every year is grayed out because I didn't do what? I have specific dimensions. I have both boxes checked, month order date, but I can't change restarting every year. Do I?
I've got that too, Ronnie.
You got that too.
Oh, yeah.
So we.
Okay, Michael, do you want to share your screen then?
Sure.
And then we can see it.
All right, one second.
Thank you.
Maura, you're good, right?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
You were able to
Let's do that one.
select something on restarting every.
Oh, there you are.
All right. So there we go. Yep, that's fine. So starting every is grayed out.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Color.
Oh, you wait one sec.
I have no idea.
I mean, it's doing the same thing that ours are doing. Oh, I know. If you drag year of order date on the modal, the pop-up window,
Okay.
that with the checkbox,
That one?
yeah, don't check it off. Keep it checked. But this time,
There, it went.
Do I select it first? Is that the difference? Because I didn't
no,
select it.
no,
Okay.
go back. None.
Okay.
Okay, so the label for the checkbox. Click on the label of the checkbox, not the checkbox, but the label of the checkbox.
Right here.
Drag it, click and drag it above month.
And drag it above what? Oh, change the order? Okay.
Mine was in that order.
And now go to restart every,
Okay, here. Okay.
yep, and year.
Okay. And then change this.
Nope.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you
Okay.
can if you want, but it's, yeah, you can go month if you want. It's the,
Okay.
but it is the deepest, so it's redundant.
Mine looks
Okay.
exactly like his, and it's year order date on top, month order date at the level it's deepest. But maybe I can't select that restarting every year.
Do you have,
Can you see it?
I can't see.
I don't know where the dang camera is. Where's the camera? There.
Okay, there, that's better. So the checkbox, what's the first one? Is it year?
Year of order date, and then month of order date.
And specific dimensions.
Are the rustier pills the same as Michael's?
Index calculation, sum of sales, year order date, month order date. Yeah, aren't they?
You have your order date on color? Looks like it.
Yeah.
Maybe exit out and try again.
Okay. So we exit out, meaning just X.
Oh. Of like the little window.
Yeah. Now here's what's different about his. You know, his are on top of each other. Mine are side by side. Sorry.
Right. Yeah, I know. That's what we're trying to solve
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, your grayed out
I
option
know,
is what overlaps it.
Index. When you right click on index calculation, where are you compute using?
Compute using order date.
Yeah.
That's what I was right there.
Okay. Now edit the table calculation again.
Where was that? Right here. Edit table calculation.
And
There's
then
that.
Go at the level and go to month instead of deepest.
Right here.
No, the pull down menu.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right.
Right here.
The pull down menu right below the checkbox.
at the level.
It's in the modal. It's in the pop up.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right.
What do you want me to go to month right there?
Yeah, click on the deepest and go to month. Yeah. And now
Ha-ha,
click.
Look at that.
Yep.
There we go, kids.
Got it.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Now I got this camera motion.
Making it work.
Making it work.
I still need to get that connected. So
Students just like to challenge me.
I
Like an obstacle course to give advice.
uh-huh. Am I
Ronnie knows
officially
that.
It's too people say, like, you know, it's too easy. Let's add the challenge level of teaching the class. All right, so we are at that time for break. So you get 10 minutes. Where I can take a nap, and so you can be back at 8:12, and we're going to talk a little bit more baseline chart, when to use it, and actually we're not 100% done yet, so we're just there's more fun here.
And KPI
Right.
is key performance indicator. Is that what you're referring to?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, I always
Make
forget. Yeah, so KPI
That's
is
right.
kind of like, yeah, that's like second nature to me now. So yeah, I forget that people don't necessarily know what KPI is. Thanks for bringing that up. All right. Oh, you lost that minute. Still 8:12. Sorry. See you back.
Hey, hey,
Hey.
I'm back. My dog's been very distracting.
Yeah, my dog went on and off barking too. That's why I keep hitting the mute.
Yeah. I'm like, ooh. He'll just come and bust in the door. Will just bust open. Like, alrighty,
Hold
buddy.
on, my audio's not working right now.
Then my boys were upstairs laughing, and I heard them both laughing, and I'm like, oh, what does that mean?
How is the puppy? Is it a boy or
He,
girl? I forgot.
boy, yeah, boy. He's pretty good. He has grown a tremendous amount. So we didn't weigh him when we first got him, but was 35 pounds as of like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow. And
Yeah,
how old?
He was 12 weeks when we got him, and that was, I don't know, 2+ months ago. So
Nope. Can't.
Oh, I love puppies. They're just so fun and so dangerous.
Oh,
yeah.
I can hear now.
Okay, cool.
It's okay. We're just talking about dogs. You didn't miss anything.
Oh,
Or
I
you
think I
did.
say I was
Depends
just
on who
talking
you're
about
asking.
you. So yeah,
Michael,
it's just
I
a
still have
trick.
to
You know,
send you that TikTok of the dog that talks.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
that'd be cool.
TikTok.
I'll be sure to do that after class.
What do you mean a dog that talks?
It's this dog that the trainer like set up all of these buttons, and the dog knows what each button says and the meaning behind it. And so a bunch of scientists started like watching the dog because it's completely changing how I get dogs are a lot smarter than we thought they were. And so like it remembers like what it did yesterday, and like if there's like future plans, like it has all these like concepts of time that we didn't realize. And the dog will like talk about what was in his dreams. It's so crazy. He just hits the buttons.
So when dogs make a mess and have that guilty look on their face, they do know better.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. They're
I'm
smarter
impressed.
than we think.
I'm impressed by how quickly he caught on to ringing the bell on the door to go outside. Like he's been doing that for weeks now. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been able to off leash train my dog. It still kind of freaks me out a little bit, but he knows if he strays away in the slightest bit, he's inside, and that would be the worst thing for him. So he's a Velcro dog.
And do you ever train him in a different language? Like my brother-in-law is a cop or a deputy sheriff, and he teaches him in German. And I don't know if you command a
Is it because it's a
dog, you have to do it in a different language so that
people don't distract him. I've actually read on that before that they'll do that so that people won't make calls.
To sit in German, and I'm like, and they did it. I'm like, what? Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
I watched this video of this. They adopted a dog, and it wasn't listening to anything that they were saying, and they had like a Spanish song in the background, and it was like sitting. They're like, "Oh, the dog knows Spanish." And he's like, "Sitate," because he doesn't know how to speak it. It's really funny. Okay, enough.
Give him a treat by pretzel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get a dog to do anything as long as there's food involved.
That is true. Except for I think my dog is more he would pick like being with a person over eating food alone.
Wow, you got a rare breed there.
They call them Velcro dogs. Stringer Spaniels, beware. You can never leave them alone.
Yeah, our dog very much wants to be in the same room as us.
Yeah. They're
a bigger bed, so.
Yes.
They know what's up. Okay, so one last thing we're going to do is we're going to right click on sum of sales. We're going to go to our quick table calculation, and we're going to have running total. And then we're going to go compute using and go order date.
Oh.
And then.
And you said compute using was order date?
Yep.
And then what was that last thing that you did? Oh, still doing it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm working on No, that's definitely not it. Let me go back button. So you can see the issue right now is I don't want it to start up here. I want it to be down here. So
Somehow I did that.
you got it?
Yeah, like they like go one after another. I don't know how I did that though. It
Share your
just-
screen and let's see.
yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah. Mine looks like. Is that how it's not supposed to look?
Can you share your screen? Let's see it.
Yes. Okay. But I don't know if this is what you need. Where?
Probably. I'm guessing.
Okay, share screen. Share. I want this screen. Ah. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
Not
It's
that.
Where'd it go?
I see.
I see
Hey.
Yosemite.
Yeah, I see.
Okay, wait, let me retry again. It just like went away. How do you get to where'd it
Do you
go?
have a Mac?
Did this yeah, okay, I know what happened. It's because I filled it my screen and then okay, I get it. Kind of. Okay. Give me one moment. The dual screens are really throwing me for a loop.
I hear you.
Okay. Okay.
But this is funny, but do you recall the last or the first time you ever talked to somebody over a screen?
I
Like
don't.
I met my nephew when he was like 6 and he's 23 now, but my kids played checkers. He lived in California and my brother met, was a step kid, and so we introduced our
I got
kids.
mine to work now.
Yeah.
Can you guys see my screen?
Not yet.
Nope.
It says it's sharing.
I don't know what I clicked, but I got mine to work. So
Wait, but you have to click. It says, is that me?
Oh, there we go.
That's mine.
That's not
That's
me.
me. Is that what you were wanting to do?
nope.
No, he wanted it down at 0.
Yeah.
Left hand corner.
All right, take it away. I don't know what's going on.
It's supposed to look like this.
That's
Oh, okay. How do we do that?
yeah. Teach us.
I don't know. Okay. Well, I say I'm kidding, but I'm actually not.
Oh,
So like it's like a real finicky chart, and it's like a very complicated table calculation.
So you edited table calculation and
1 second. Some reason the testing
all you
of
did
the
is
speakers
switch
thing.
year out of order date and month out of order date, and then mine did it. So it's just the order of which.
Yeah.
Mine,
So it's like
mine
finicky
were
like
flipped
that.
around. So you
Yeah.
make sure month of order date is first and year of order date, and then mine did exactly what yours did.
Oh, okay, great.
all right. I definitely did something that threw things off in the first place. Why are they overlapped?
Yours, David.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a month order date above your order date.
Mm-hmm.
I think I did it.
Yes, it looks like you did.
Am I still sharing my screen?
Well, I don't have it active, but I can
Oh.
see you still have the share screen.
Oh. I'm like,
As
how
the
is this
host,
working?
I can, yeah.
Gotcha.
I see Michael's screen though on my, or no, I see David's screen on my screen. I think.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Michael, are you good?
I don't have them tight together like that. So I have.
Do you want to share your screen?
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
show mine. Sure.
Everyone's doing it, so.
Make sure we know how.
I heard it's a happening thing.
Was it because yours looked like mine when I shared my? Oh, I don't know about all this.
Okay, so
Change the
this
order.
time, yeah, change the order of month. So
Of
the month
order.
order, yeah, drag that up.
Above. Right.
And then
Wait, no, not in.
restarting is none.
Okay.
And
And then you have to go to sum of sales.
Yeah,
too.
on table calculation, he needs to be under sum of sales, and he's on index calculation.
Yeah.
Okay.
oh, that's why.
Okay. So then move
Yeah,
this.
month is above year.
There you go.
Hey, look at that.
No, that's still not right.
And
Okay.
his are tighter. It's close.
Yeah, go back to index calculation.
Okay.
Yeah, probably index.
We'll do back arrow. Okay. So edit table calculation.
Is that what they look
So
like?
you want year, this one you want year above month.
Okay.
And then you want restart year of order date. Okay, then go to sum of sales.
Okay. So I'm going to close this out. Go to sum of sales. Do the edit table calculation.
And then you want month above year. So that they're the opposite. There you go.
There you
All
go.
right.
All right. So we're going to, let me share my screen again. Okay, we're going to duplicate that because this isn't exactly the most exciting way of looking at this.
And
And
you say-
instead of sum of sales,
What
we're
are
going to
we
look
doing?
at profit.
We're
Wait a minute.
duplicating
What did
the
you
sheet.
duplicate? Oh, you
Duplicating
the sheet?
baseline chart.
Okay.
Okay.
Hold that. Let's duplicate.
And we can just have this
baseline.
baseline chart too. That's fine. And then instead of sales, we're going to grab profit.
And put it column. Okay.
Oh.
Take
So now
the
we got a
other
little bit more
spot.
variation there.
Then we're going to
Okay.
take index calculation off of columns, right?
No, we keep index calculation and we're just changing the metric.
Okay. I have two charts though.
Did you duplicate?
Oh, duplicate
you
the
remove
sheet.
sales? Duplicate the sheet and then remove
Not-
sales.
Not the.
Okay.
Yep.
Remove sales from rows.
Correct.
Okay. And then put profit on rows. Okay, I'm there.
All right. And then we're going to just do the running sum again. Running total. And then compute using order date. And we're going to edit it.
Okay, wait, you're going too fast for me. Sum of sales compute.
Oh, that's lame too.
Did you
Ooh.
say running total on sum of profit
Yes.
Yep.
and compute using order date?
Yes.
Yep.
And then
Edit it.
Take it.
Yeah, and then
And
switch
move
the
to month and
month
day.
and the year. Yep. Okay, let's see if we can make this a little bit more interesting.
I'm
Let's
not
go
having
with the-
luck switching mine from month to year. Can I drag one under and so there we go. Now I did.
Okay.
And show calculation assistance, no. Nope. Okay.
Show
I'm with you.
calculation. Okay,
No,
good.
I got
So we're gonna go location, and then we're gonna try California. No, that didn't do it. So we're gonna find something that's gonna make these lines cross. I'm gonna find something.
Well,
There,
I've got some of the lines are crossing quite a bit. You gonna
Okay,
see
yeah.
mine?
Let's see it. Oh, I'm looking for something a little bit more.
Separated.
Yeah. But yeah, that's better.
Ah, I found one.
Okay, guys. Let's see this.
Yeah,
I'll
let's see
see
yours.
your.
Oh, I clicked Alabama and Colorado.
Okay, yeah, we'll try that.
Give that a go. You'll get a cross or two.
Oh yeah. Is that what you're after?
Yeah, but
Uh,
yours still looks different than mine, kind of.
I just got.
let's
did-
go.
Did you
Let's
put
go back to
state
the.
in-
Let's go back to the sales. Let's try the Colorado and what was the other state?
Alabama.
Alabama.
Wait, what? We're looking at what?
So did you?
The sales baseline,
Oh,
so it doesn't go negative like profit.
So do you take profit off of there and put sales back on? Is that what you're saying?
No. If you duplicated your sheet, you can just go back to the sales one.
Oh. Okay, who's sharing the screen here?
I think it's me.
Okay, so we have to put. Are we putting state up on the filter?
That's what I did to match what we were last talking about.
And what two states did we select?
mine does not look
Alabama,
like
Colorado.
that.
Okay, so this is a little better. Okay.
Mine doesn't cross at all on the sale.
Yeah, mine doesn't either.
So
Okay.
it doesn't cross. I mean, like, I guess it doesn't necessarily need to cross, but just kind of show. So I actually added another year, 2019. So this is baseline chart for sales. So the first one we created.
Uh-huh.
And I filtered on subcategory, bookcases, copiers, envelopes, and furnishings.
Say that one more time. You did bookcases.
Bookcases, copiers, envelopes, and furnishings.
Copiers. I don't have copiers.
Copiers either.
Oh, okay.
I got
Which ones? You just pick a assortment of products and see if it. So, like,
Just
you
take
should have
copiers
something that
off.
kind of. You should have something that kind of looks like this. One thing you can do is highlight the 2 older years and edit the colors.
So how did you switch and add a year? We just opened that and edited it.
It's in the filters.
Yeah, edit
Remember,
the
we
filter and
filtered
that-
2021
yeah, so you
and
just added-
2020.
I got it. Yep, I got it. Okay, and now you're selecting the color on any.
Yeah, and I'm going to make 2019, I'm going to make, and 2020 a gray. So you can just find a gray in the palette. So then your focus is going to be more on 2021. And then you can drag 2021 on the top of the color legend so that it's on top. And you can kind of imagine what this is going to look like when you have a lot of years.
Which 2 years were you graying out?
2020 and 2019. So the value of a baseline chart is it's a great way to see how your current trend, the current year compares to previous years. So like if I was just looking at this from like a line chart perspective, so if I just grabbed if I just grab sales and had order date by year, or no, actually just by month, you'll see it looks like this, but there's no real way to see, like, if I'm here, how that really compares with the other years, because there's just too much noise and there's just no common baseline. And so that's why it's called a baseline chart. So instead of getting these, having to worry about seasonality and all these other things that are affecting these trends, you have a baseline, you avoid all of that visual complexity, and you have a very clear of where you're going to go. So if I'm trying to create projections for this year's sales, it's a lot easier to be able to do that from this perspective. And if you're like below trend, then that gives you a clear idea that you need to improve, certain aspects of your business, or get an early warning about like a trend that's not going your way. If you think about it, this is allowing you to see the overall trend based on the month, but you're getting a larger bucket, a larger sample size, because you're capturing the whole trend from a year instead of looking at it per month. So it's even more of a strategic look at your data. Fortunately, the sample data, our visualization skills are so good that we could obviously see it with sample data. So it's a little too even. So that was the main issue there. But that's not based on like you doing anything wrong. And the reason I decided not to go with profit as much is because there's too much negative, and it's a little bit harder to read when it's negative, instead of like sales is always a good number, because you're not going to have negative sales unless you're really bad at selling.
Hey, come here.
Okay, so we can delete that one. You can also delete that second baseline chart. I would just keep this one. All right. So who's ready for first dashboard? It's going to be super simple.
Cool.
All right.
Now, where? And you opened a
You're going to create 4 sheets.
Okay.
This is
Okay.
like our introduction, right?
Let me see here. Okay. We're actually going to create 3 sheets, and we're going to commandeer the barbell plot. We don't have to move it or do anything with it, but we're going to speed this up. Okay. So we're going to take state, and we're not going to make a map. We're going to put it on rows. We're going to take sales. Going to put it on columns. We're going to sort it, because that's a good practice. And we're going to
sales going on column. Okay.
Yep. And we're going to take state, drag it on label. That's new. We're going to click label and make it left align. We're going to right click on header.
Slow down. States on label. Please.
States on label.
States on label. Right click on label and
what? Left click on label. Alignment left.
okay. I'm caught up.
Right click on header. Click on show header. And then we're going to go to color. and you're going to pick one of the lighter colors, lighter grays.
You guys are on Max, right?
Correct.
When I go to header, this is where I always get lost, and I right click on header. But
Should be
maybe
show
I'm not-
header.
Show me where you're right clicking on header, and I just want to. Oh, on states.
So you just right click right on one of the states,
States.
and there should be a show header. And then you click off.
But you grade those states out.
Yes. So if you left click on color, I went with the second lightest gray color.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to clean up this view. Get rid of the grid lines. So it should be the fifth icon and then columns and go to none. And then we're going to remove the header. We actually don't want an axis, believe it or not. And then we're going to go to tooltip. And we're going to unclick show tooltip so we do not see what the tooltips are.
So how did you get the tooltips?
Yeah, that's what I'm curious.
Left click tooltip
Sorry, there. Okay.
and then uncheck
Uncheck.
show tooltip. Yep.
Okay.
We can rename this state sales so we know what we're looking at. And actually, since it will be a lot faster, we're going to delete the duplicates we previously created, and we're going to duplicate state sales twice. So now we don't have to go in and change everything again.
So you duplicated it twice and removed the other two, right? Okay.
Right. You remove the other two. So we're going to take order date.
And the first one or last one?
Yeah, and which state sales?
It doesn't really matter. You can change them whenever. And you want to remove state from all of that. You want to keep it bars, not square, bars. And you want to do the same thing, put the label, sort it.
Okay, month order date.
And call it month sales.
Okay, month order date, I'm getting under order date, right?
Correct.
Order date. And I want month. And just month on the second one. Okay. I still see your state, and I thought you had month order date up there. Oh, there.
Different screen. So this is states, month, and then we got a second duplicate states that we're going to replace it with a different dimension.
Okay, I'm on the second, the first one we duplicated. I didn't get all those.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, that's the one, month order date. And this date needs to come off of there, the fields. I couldn't find month order date, or the order date, I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries.
No, don't feel bad, Ronnie. I got a lot lost between trying to watch and listen. Yeah, between trying to watch and listen, I wasn't
sorry.
able to keep up with you.
You want to share your screen?
Sure.
Blue pill, why? I got to get month order date to blue. So it's discrete. There.
Yeah,
we
it's
go.
just discrete. Yep. This is
But-
if you right click it, you just take it here.
All right, but gosh, mine's a bar, and then what'd you drag it onto labels?
I did not realize I was muted this whole time, and I have been very.
Of all the
I thought everyone was
knowledge that
ignoring
we
me.
were able to hear.
I'm like, wait. Okay, figuring it out.
Oh, let's start the second one over. I think we'd be farther along.
Okay, so I was
Okay.
No.
What do we got going on here?
Yeah, I was
Okay, so
trying to-
remove state from marks because that
Mark,
affects
okay.
the view. And then remove state from rows.
okay.
And then change year to month.
Okay.
Which one are we on?
And then change that to a bar.
The second one,
Okay, sales month there.
but the
Bar. Okay.
Drag month. Command or control drag to label. Remove show header.
oh, wait a minute.
Show header for sum of sales.
Wait, show header for sum of sales.
Yeah,
Okay.
go to the columns. Yep. Right click. Show header. It's that second right below
right
your
there. Okay.
right click on the axis.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Hover over the axis and where that icon has a sword icon. Yeah, just press that. Now hide the header.
Okay.
And looks good.
Okay.
All right. The only thing I missed was the months in the bars.
You want me to
is
take a
that
look?
Label. Ah, just kidding. Figured it out.
Okay, you got it.
I did it. I think, does mine look right? Well,
You want me to check?
can you still see my screen?
I can add it. Yeah.
Cool. Well, does it look right?
Everything looks right except for the sorting. You want it sorted the
Cool.
other way. Looks
Okay.
right.
And yours says state sales. Is that the second one or the first one then? I'm just making sure.
Oh, I have to re-edit. This is month.
Yeah, so the state sales is the first one. Month sales is the second one.
Okay, I got to change that to month sales. That's what I'm just going to rename mine now quick to month sales.
And actually, to make this easier, we're going to duplicate month sales and then remove the other state sales. I know that sounds like I'm making it more complicated, but all you should have to do for this one is to change month to year.
Okay, and this one's gonna be year sales, maybe.
Yep, year sales, and then instead of like removing any pills, you're just going to change them to a year.
Whoa.
So yeah, I wasn't sharing my screen. So you just go here, and so instead of month, you just change them to year.
Discrete.
Yeah, thank you.
So change both to year?
Yep,
Oh,
change
sorry.
them to year. Yep, you're good.
Yeah, I think I.
And then just make sure that they're sorted.
I'm gonna share to make sure I'm doing this right. Oh, I guess am I already sharing? I'm already sharing. Okay, so I'm gonna change the month pill in rows and the month pill in marks to year.
Uh-huh.
Correct. On the duplicated one. Yep.
Okay, and this is the blue year.
Yep.
Okay.
And then just
Okay.
you can go to the menu up top so you don't have to show the header again and just sort descending. Yep.
Cool.
And you're good.
Cool.
3 clicks. 3 clicks.
Yeah, sweet.
All right, I think I'm there.
All right. We might make it. So I'm going to change it to year sales. And we got 13 minutes to build the dashboard. Plenty of time. Plenty of
Whose
time.
screen is being shared right now?
It is mine.
David's.
Okay, we're in the year sales, the third one that we created right now, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Everyone good?
Yep.
I think so.
All right, we're going to create a dashboard. It's the second icon. You'll get something that looks like this. I am going to, for now, just go automatic, just so I get my full screen space. So I wouldn't normally do this, but I just want the
For
full screen space.
size,
You go size, and then you can choose.
I don't even have an option for automatic. Oh, wait. Fix. Ah,
Okay. Boom.
okay. I
All right.
do.
So we're going to take our barbell plot, double click it, and drop it in. For now, we're just going to get rid of all of this. We don't need that right now.
Wait a minute. What are you doing?
Wait, what are you getting rid of?
The legends and the parameter selections. So it should have joined in when you this whole right section here.
Uh-huh. Remove container.
Yes.
Oh, that is not what was supposed to happen. Remove from dashboard? Delete container.
Yeah, remove from dashboard. Yep. Looks right.
Okay.
So we're gonna take our we're gonna take year well, actually let's click floating.
Floating. Okay. Lower left floating.
Where did you click?
And we're gonna
floating?
take our
Ronnie, lower
floating's
left.
down here in the bottom left.
Okay, floating. Yep.
Okay,
You
so we're gonna
drag
take year, drag it up here. We're gonna take month, drag it here, and then state, drag it here. Okay, so now these are the charts that we're gonna use as this is a bit of a, I guess it's a bit of a hack. So we're gonna take the first one and you just hover over it. You got this little tab here that you can left click and drag it and you can move it all around. Hold shift and then you'll see half of the screen show or shade, and that just lets you know that you're going to drop in those charts, and you just left click, shift, and then drag.
Okay, shift.
And then you just adjust it to make it look good.
I'm having a hard time maneuver. Uh-oh, do you want to stay? No. Can you re-show how you drag it?
Yeah, so there's this little notch up here,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
and then you
Click
just
on
left
it.
click that, and you should be able to move it, and then you hold shift to be able to place it.
Okay. How do you put
Really
it
love it.
for the other one when it's spaced? Oh, there. One on top. Yeah. How do you make the, like your sales? I got so big, but there's a lot of white space. How do I just pull up the bottom?
So pull down menu and go entire view.
Pull down menu.
That's not even giving me an option to do that.
Really?
Yeah, it's great app. Oh, you click it enough times, it should work.
Yeah, that's it.
But
It's like the baseline chart. Just start clicking random buttons, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden you get it.
my year sales is behind my month sales, and I can't get it to like shrink up, so it just is up in that upper corner because I'm not maneuvering this.
So you can move these by hovering over the sections between them, and you can start moving them up and down.
If it's taken up the whole left pane, or excuse me, the right pane, and I can't get down and grab it at the bottom because I'm like going off the page, can I like condense it?
Maybe try, instead of going floating, go to tiled, and that might make it easier.
I just can't get the cursor to turn into the. Would I take entire view off maybe?
No, that shouldn't. So you have it floating right now, and you're trying to get it in the dashboard. So this is how you move it around. And while you have it left click, you don't stop clicking left click as you're dragging it. You hold shift.
Right, but see
And
how
then-
it made that years big like that? Like it expanded it, and I need to shrink it back up. Can you see that?
Oh, it's huge.
And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, how do I get it back to the
Oh, go to standard instead of entire view.
go to standard on that one? Okay.
So right here,
Yeah, just for that particular one, because I do have. Okay, so go standard. Whew. All right, but that box is still there. But I'm gonna try to move month over here. Oh,
all right. I'm gonna try and just show there's actually not many steps left. So we're just gonna go through this real quick because there's only 5 minutes left. So when you click on these worksheets in the dashboard, you'll see there's this down arrow that gives you more options. You're going to find this uses filter. We're actually going to use worksheets as our filter. And we're going to do that for each of the bar charts and only the bar charts. That's all you got to do. And I'm going to adjust this a little bit so it looks more like navigation. So now when I click on each of these different elements, I can now quickly shift through each of these different options. And if I'm holding command, I think it's control for Windows, you can do multiple selections as well. And the nice thing about this is it not only will update your chart, but it will also update your other elements of navigation. So you know exactly that these elements, like what the relationship is with the sales compared to all these different selections.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
And so you can very easily allow a very interactive experience to someone without them having to know anything about Tableau. And they get to see all the stuff, all that feedback, and make charts fun to work with. And they get to dig into it. So that kind of goes back to our discussion before about how to get data visualization adoption. It's to do things like this that are interactive and fun, and not doing things like recreating crystal reports in Tableau, because that's a nightmare that I would wish on my worst enemy.
So can I say what I'm seeing? And feel free to tell me that I'm way oversimplifying it. But essentially, if I were to do this another way, I would be doing SQL statements. And this is a way of interactively modifying SQL statements and having it perform like that.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Okay.
And that's like what I was talking about VisQL in a prior lecture. That's what
Yeah.
this is. It's visual querying. You're visually querying, and you also get into like data navigation, where you are choosing the paths of insights based on like the visualizations that are what the visualizations are telling you, and based on that, you can get down to that record of finding that specific thing that is actually of interest. But you would have gotten there if you didn't have a visualization. Like if you're just going purely through SQL, you would never know to go down that rabbit hole. And so, yeah, it's visual querying is very similar, but it also leads to very different outcomes.
Yeah, pretty cool.
It's a more engaging way to interact with your data.
Yeah.
My computer moves a little bit slower, but it's fun.
It just tells you need to give you a reason to buy a new computer that's faster.
Yeah, that's in the budget.
I thought Nate was going to look for some memory for you, or Jonathan, one of the two. They did offer.
Oh yeah, he was.
Remember?
Well, we realized that was because every single one of my computer programs were running that day.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Don't feel bad. You
open today.
don't feel bad. You don't want to see how much stuff I've got running concurrently. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
putting my almost 10-year-old computer to the test.
That's impressive. 10-year-old computer.
I think, yeah. I mean, almost.
Mac?
Well, gosh, Joe, just kidding. I've totally got the year wrong. I would say about like 6 or 7-year-old.
Oh, that's still pretty good.
Yeah. 7, almost 7.
All right. Well, it is that time where I must bid adieu. It's the end of class. But I'm here for 30 minutes for office hours if anybody wants to stay behind and talk data visualization. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy your weekend, which is rapidly approaching. And I will see everyone Monday.
All right. Sounds good. Have a great weekend.
All
Bye,
right.
everybody.
Class is
See you
half
on
over.
Monday.